My name is Gonzales, and this is the Cluck'n Baetis. Cluck'n Baetis is something I've worked on for quite a while now. This is sort of the updated version with new materials and just the way it progressed. So we are going to start with an Umpqua TMC 201R. This is in size 20. Thread for the day, Semperfli Nano Silk Yellow. This is 30 denier. We're going to go ahead and just attach right behind the eye. Snip that away. Tails are going to be some brown microfibbits. And we are going to grab 2 of the bundle. Since we're going to add split tails, I try to make it to where they're lining up equally. Tie it on about a hook or so off the rear. Go ahead and capture it on, check length. The vise I'm tying on today is a Regal. This is their new hook jaw. As you can see, it really makes it easy when coming down to the rear of this fly. It allows me to kind of set those tails exactly where I want them. Go ahead and trim away the excess. For a rib, we're going to use some monofilament. This is in brown. I believe it's hairline ice thread, but it's fairly equal to about 5.5, 6x. If we were to compare it to tippet. So I'm going to attach this in here at the rear, facing up the hook. Nice flat touching turns. Our next material is the gills of this fly. This is going to be some turkey. This is the secondary flight feather. It's also the feather you'd find your biots on. However, we're going to use the opposing side. We're going to kind of pick and choose through here, and we're going to grab a feather that starts out in a very light section. What I mean by that is, see how the tips of this are lightly colored? We're going to start there. We're going to grab individual strands. So I'm going to pick off a couple of them. I'm going to tie one on the side closest to me, like so. And repeat that same process on the opposing side. This one can get a little tricky, but as you can see, we got them on either side of the hook. Now we're going to make sure they stay there. So we wrap down the body. Nice flat turns of thread. This nano silk really adds a lot to this fly, just in the fact that I can tie on so many materials without adding a lot of bulk. That's kind of the secret to small bait, especially when you're fishing the San Juan. Go ahead and capture that. Okay, so now I like to add a little bit of marker. This is woodsy brown, or sorry, honey brown from Bic. And I'm just going to attach it to the top. And kind of dab, just to kind of give it a little more lifelike. Betas tend to have 2 colors, a light and a dark side. So now we're going to grab our monofilament, being very careful. We're going to start it behind the turkey. Begin segmenting up the body. This is going to be a little hard to to see on this first wrap, but as I go, you'll get the idea. It's always that first wrap that's kind of the most difficult. Since they are laying backwards, we got to get them facing forward, but once we begin to wrap them, you'll see they kind of do as we're asking of them. Little trick I picked up from my dad is always make the body complete. So we're going to take this all the way to the eye. Although our wing case is going to start somewhere at the 2/3 point, I think it just adds something when you complete it. Once we make sure and know that's secure, we'll go ahead and cut all this off. Part of that turkey will stick out of the front, so you are going to have to clean up a little bit, just like so. As you can see, it's an excellent body. Nice gills, as well as a light underbody. So our next material is going to be this Semperfli iridescent purple. So we're going to grab a piece of that. And this is going to be kind of over the top of our wing case, just to add a little bit of flash to this fly. So we're really leaning towards proportions on Baetis. So I've noticed about the 2/3, right about where the hook point is where you want to end your body. Our next material is going to be for our legs, and this is brown fluorofiber. So there's 12 strands here. We're going to split them in half here in a moment, so that's where we get 12. Tie them in here on top of the hook. And we are going to attach those just where we left off our flash. I personally like to make a reverse taper here, so I want this section to be larger and getting smaller towards the eye. I feel like it adds that bump where the wing case exits the body, right? And it kind of just adds a little bit of a lifelike effect to this fly. Just makes it a little more natural. We're going to spin our thread here. Make sure we have nice clean wraps. Before coming down towards the eye. I also like to hit this with a little bit of marker. This one I'm going to kind of blob on here because I want it to bleed into the sides. We'll grab those strands of fluorofiber, lay them over the top, and then capture them right behind the eye. Now we're going to separate this into 2 strands of 6. Capture. A few turns to ensure. You'll see that splays them out. And then at this point, I have a little trick for this flash. So here on the underside, the side that's going to be facing on the wing case, I'm just going to color this. This is just going to add a little bit of dimension to that flash and get us, I call it the lightsaber color. Lay it over the top, capture it, a few turns to really lock it in place. We snip this off. Now with all that, nice even whip finish here on the head of the fly. Trim away our nano silk. You can see that color. Add a little bit more marker here to the top of this fly. And now what I like to do is I choose to pull these legs down. I notice the betas tumbling through the water, their legs are actually underneath them. So I'm going to kind of tease them down. I'm going to grab some UV cure resin. Use my vise to pinch the legs in place. And just add ample amount to the top, cure. Those legs will stay right where I put them. And now for sake of consistency, I once again use my vise and I trim just above the hook point. Now to finish our fly, we can reach in here, splay these tails, and we have a finished Cluck'n Baetis. Really realistic for being as small as it is. If you fish a lot of the southwest region here in the United States, such as Colorado or New Mexico, this is a staple, and I'm excited to see it in Umpqua catalogs here soon. Thank you.